School District Board of Trustees. My name is Willie White, and as the board president, I have the pleasure of calling this meeting to order. Please note that this meeting is being live streamed on YouTube. For this reason, I ask that you please silence your cell phones, and if you must take a call during the meeting, please quietly step aside. This is a meeting of the Board of Trustees being held in front of the public, which is not the same as a public hearing or a meeting for the public. The Board and the district appreciate your interest of our constituents and welcome you at all of our meetings. However, in our Board of Trustee meetings, only the board members and the members of the administration who are providing information to the boards should be speaking during the meeting, except for the portion of the meeting designated for the public input. Should any audience members have a question during the meeting, please do not interrupt the meeting or interject your questions or comment in the middle of the meeting. Instead, please raise your questions or concerns with the appropriate person at the conclusion of the meeting so that the board can conduct our board business meeting without interruption. Agenda item 1, call to order, Pledge of Allegiance to the United States flag, pledge to the Texas flag, and our inspirational moment.
Mr. President, board members, faculty, staff, families, students, good morning and happy leap year. Our Pledge of Allegiance will give you a background about our pledgers and our inspirational speaker today. Our pledge leader representing Fort St. Houston Elementary is Riley Williams, a member of Miss Villanueva's 5th grade class. Riley is the daughter of Army Chief Warrant Officer Ryan Williams and Miss Taryn Williams. Riley has 3 siblings, Mark, Patrick, and Luke. While at school, Riley's favorite subject is math. When she's not at school, her hobbies include art, softball, football, reading, and riding horses. Riley's future goal is to be a veterinarian and have 1 dog and 1 cat. Our middle school pledger is an 8th grader representing Robert G. Cole Middle School is Kayla Bedford, an 8th grade student. Kayla is the daughter of Sergeant First Class Kiki Bedford and Jacob Bedford. Hi, Mom, Dad. During her free time, Kayla enjoys art, music, and fashion. Her favorite classes at Cole are JROTC, Spanish, and being an office aide. When Kayla graduates, she is hoping to pursue her career in archaeology, paleontology, and animation. Our high school inspirational moment will be presented by Ms. Delaney O'Neill. A high school, Colonel Charles O'Neill, Delaney's father, is currently in his 28th year of service, and her mother, Linda O'Neill, devoted 10 years to the military service. Ms. O'Neill, saw you, thank you. Delaney has been a student of Cole since 2018 and was honored as this year's recipient of the Valero Alamo Bowl Scholarship. Despite being accepted into several universities for aeronautical engineering, Delaney is currently undecided about her choice as she eagerly awaits 2 more university acceptances set to be released at the end of March. In addition to her academic achievements, Delaney is a highly accomplished swimmer. She's a 2-time swim state qualifier, a 4-year regional qualifier, and a 2-year swim captain. Notably, 2 of her relay teams have broken the school record in their events. Delaney is a member of the Science, Math, English, Spanish, and National Honor Societies and volunteers in the community. So, great job, folks. So, with that being said,
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Cool. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I started attending Cole in 2018, and I will be the 3rd member of my family to graduate from here. Having always been part of larger school communities, I initially had doubts about attending a smaller school. Quickly, I learned not to judge Cole because despite its smaller size, there are still so many great opportunities. Before arriving at Cole, I had relocated 4 times in 5 years, making it challenging for me to connect with peers and make new friends. However, the supportive, friendly environment at Cole allowed me to make my first group of friends within days of being here, and they are still my closest friends even as a senior. As a Cole student, I have been able to engage in multiple honor societies, AP and dual enrollment classes, and various sports. Despite participating in multiple school activities, I am most thankful for my experience on the Cole swim team. I have been swimming nearly all my life, and I was excited to finally be on a high school swim team. As a freshman, I was able to swim alongside my older sister and create the closest friendships I've ever had. During the last swim season, I developed a right shoulder tear, bursitis, and tendinosis in both of my shoulders, making it harder for me to swim consistently without pain. I'm certain about the outlook for my senior swim season, especially since the orthopedist recommended that I stop participating in my club swim team. Coach McGrath stepped in, reassuring me that my swim season will be successful despite my setback. Coach McGrath provided a safe practice environment, listening and trusting my judgment regarding my injury while still coaching the other swimmers. He dedicated his time by offering early morning practices so those who do sports, such as myself, could continue to compete and practice in both sports. I will always be grateful for his care, concern, and time he gives to his team. With continued support from Coach McGrath, I managed to advance to the state championship swim meet once again. Despite being injured, our relay not only broke school records again, but I was able to achieve personal best at my final swim meet. The Cole swim team is the only sport that competes in the higher, more competitive 4A division. For a small 3A school, I'm proud to say that despite our fantastic competition, both the boys and girls relays secured top 12 ranking at states. I'm grateful for the warm community and support I've received at Cole from teachers, coaches, and peers. Although there have been some high school difficulties, what with hard classes and all, I'm glad for my high school experience, and I'm sad to see it come to an end this upcoming May. I'm pleased that I was able to live here for as long as I have without having to move again. After I graduate, I plan on attending a college in the Northeast to study either aerospace or mechanical engineering, Notre Dame, Penn State, or the University of Pittsburgh. Cole has provided me with many opportunities that have allowed me to get into amazing universities and receive merit scholarships. As I prepare for my future, I eagerly look forward to continuing my educational journey, taking with me everything from memories to knowledge that I have learned from my time at Cole High School.
Cool.
Delane O'Neal. So, I mean, well, I went to the University of Pittsburgh, so go pick. But just what you just said, that you went through a level of difficulties in life, right? That you didn't know what your career with swimming were going to take you. But I submit to you that we go through these challenges in life, because how can you help somebody through something when you've never been through nothing, right? So that is your testimony. So please share that with other people that you come in contact with. Yeah, so no, ooh, powerful.
We have the parents. The parents join us, please. You see?
Yeah, perfect.
It's a one-time thing. I've never had a great job.
Thank you.
That was fantastic. I'm back here. Fantastic.
Okay, can we slide a little bit and then get the superintendent in the back?
Yeah, you have a judge.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Great.
1, 2, 3. Like you like each other.
I don't know how to use. Oh, sorry. I think I got a couple. Yeah, it's just pressing the really big ones. Thank you.
You want to get it?
Yeah, I can take one.
Hey, Mom.
I can take one.
You want to get you? Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I did get one. I did get one. I was kidding.
Oh, you did get one?
I did. Yeah.
Awesome.
Sorry. It's an Android.
I did. Oh,
She got one.
Sorry.
Oh, it was good. one of the best parts of this board meeting is always getting up and hearing from my kids. It's just a great honor, great honor. I never had an opportunity to speak in front of a crowd when I was coming up through my school years. I don't even know if I had the guts to do it, but you all did a great job. Very proud of you. Thank you. All right. You just tickled.
Hi, because I'm excited to welcome her into that Cougar alum
Oh.
piece. I can't wait till May to say, join me. I'm a Cougar too.
Die hard.
That's right.
Agenda item 2, the swearing in newly appointed board members. As most of you know, the State Board of Education met on February 2nd, 2024, and they approved the reappointment of myself, Willie White Jr., and Andrea Nicholas to serve another 2-year term on the Board of Trustees. Congratulations, Ms. Nicholas. All right. As you know, members of the Fort Sam Houston ISD School Board serve the district as a team whose focus is meeting the needs of the military children. For the record, Ms. Andrea Nicholas was sworn in on the morning of Thursday, February 22nd, and I was sworn in on the morning of February 27th by Ms. Tyra Timmons, Notary Republic, Administrative Assistant to the Board and Superintendent. Agenda item 3, quorum. With 3 of the 5 board members present, I declare a quorum. Let the record show that the following board members are present. Board member, Ms. Andrea Nicholas. Board member, Colonel Retired Aaron Braxton II. And President, Mr. Woolley White. Not present, Vice President, Mr. Richard Kling. Secretary, Dr. Latoya Sizer. Agenda item 4. Board policy BED local sets out the requirements for the public comments portion of a meeting. During regular board meetings, the public comments may address any topic, whether posted on the agenda or not. During special call meetings or work sessions, public comments are limited to the items posted on the agenda only. To participate in the public comment portion of a meeting, members of the public must sign their name on the sign-in sheet no later than 5 minutes before the meeting is scheduled to begin and shall indicate the topic about which they wish to speak. The sign-in sheet will be placed on the podium in the Professional Development Center located at 1908 Winans Road, San Antonio, Texas. A meeting of the Board of Trustees is a meeting of the board in public, not a public meeting, which is to say that the audience participation at a board meeting is limited to the public comment section of the meeting. At all other times during the meeting, the audience shall not enter into the discussion or debate or on matters being considered by the board. During the public comment, the board may furnish specific factual information or recite policy by law. The board shall not deliberate or decide regarding any subject that is not included on the agenda for that meeting, and in any deliberation or decision by the board will occur during discussion of the agenda item and not during the public comment. During regular board meetings, the public comments may address any topic, whether posted on the agenda or not. During special call meetings or work sessions, public comments are limited to items posted on the agenda only. In order to participate in the public comment portion of the meeting, members of the public must sign up with their presiding officer or designee no later than 5 minutes before the meeting is scheduled to begin and shall indicate the topic of which they wish to speak. Excuse me. Individuals may be given up to 3 minutes to speak during public comment. However, necessary for effective meeting management or to accommodate large numbers of individuals wishing to speak to the board, the presiding officer may adjust to the public comment procedures, and including adjusting when public comments will occur during the meeting or recorded on the agenda. Deferring public comments on non-agenda items, continuing agenda items to a later meeting, providing expanded opportunity for the public comment, or adjusting the time allotted to each speaker. However, no individual shall be given less than 1 minute per person to make public comments. A member of the public who addresses the board through a translator shall provide the translator. A member of the public who addresses the board through a translator must be given at least twice the amount of time as a member of the public who does not require a translator. The presiding officer or designee shall determine whether a person addressing the board has attempted to solve matter administratively through resolution channels established by the policy. If not, the person presenting shall be halted, and the person shall be referred to the appropriate policy to seek resolution. DGBA, employee complaints. FNG, student and parent complaints. GF, public complaints. There shall be no disruption of the meeting by members of the audience. If after at least 1 minute warning, the presiding officer and the individual continuing to disrupt the meeting by his or her words or action, the presiding officer may request assistance from law enforcement officials to have the individual removed from the meeting, and once the individual is escorted off the premises, the person is not permitted to return during the meeting. Individuals with signs, props, or displays shall sit in the last row of the chairs along the back of the wall so as not to interfere with the meeting or with the public observation of the meeting. During public comment, individuals shall not use the name of district employees or district students unless the student about whom they are speaking is their own child. Okay, we have one person sign up for public comments, correct? It's just one. Mr. Luther Johnson. He, can you get time for me?
She's got it.
Okay.
I'll have it.
Such a habit.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Mr. Johnson, you have the floor.
All right, good morning. How's everybody doing today? I'm not going to take too much of your time since our time has got reduced. The only question I ask is like, who is the school board meeting for, right? The reason I ask that question is an open question because our time has been reduced from 5 minutes to 3 minutes. 3 minutes is not enough time for us to provide issues and discussions that we have, to provide for the board. Because I remember in November 2023, parents had 5 minutes to speak. December 2023, the meeting was canceled, less than 24-hour notice. Then January 2024, we were informed that our time was reduced from 5 minutes to 3 minutes. My thing is, what needs to be reduced is the time that the speakers that present issues to us, we should reduce those times, allow parents to have more than 3 minutes. As I see, I have 55 seconds left. So with that said, when are we going to bring up some of the issues that were brought up previously at previous board meetings, right? Because we never get any feedback from the issues that we brought forth. Usually, you get some type of like feedback, like issues, discussions, and recommendations, but we bring up topics and we never get anything resolved. So the question I have is, where do we go at to find those information? That's all I have. You guys have a great day.
Thank you, sir. Agenda item 5 is the minutes from the regular business meeting of January 25th, 2024, and a correction of the minutes from the regular business meeting of November 16th, 2023. Agenda item 5, the superintendent recommend approving the minutes from the regular business meeting of the Board of Trustees held on January 25th, 2024, and revising to the last line of the minutes from the regular business meeting of November 16th, 2023. From the foregoing minutes were read and approved on the 21st day of December 2023. To the foregoing minutes were read and approved on the 25th day of January 2024. Board members, do we have any comments? Hearing none, do we have a motion for this agenda item?
Mr. President, excuse me. I recommend we approve the superintendent's recommendation approving the minutes from the regular business meeting of the Board of Trustees held on January 25th, 2024, and revising to the last line of the minutes from the regular business meeting of November 16th, 2023. From the foregoing minutes were read and approved on the 21st day of December 2023 to the foregoing minutes were read and approved on the 25th day of January 2024.
Is there a second?
A second, Mr. President.
All in favor?
I, Andrea Nicholas.
I, Colonel Howard Rice.
I, Willie White. Majority vote, the motion passes. Agenda item 6 is a closed meeting as authorized by the Texas Government Code Section 551.074, personnel matters, and pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.071, consultation with the council for the district regarding board reorganization. The time is now 11:22. We will move into closed session. The time is now 12:06 p.m. The Board of Trustees return to open session at this time. Due to the fact that 2 of the 5 Board of Trustees, Vice President Mr. Richard Kling and Secretary Dr. LaToya Sizer, are not present for the nomination and or voting process on the board officer positions. As president, I have made the rational decision to pull the agenda item, number 7, from this month's meeting of the board and place it on the next scheduled board meeting. Agenda item number 8 is the superintendent's report.
Mr. President, board members, community, and staff, we have a lot going on this time of year, so with that being said, Dr. Shanetta,
Yes.
good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. Okay, teaching and learning department, working as you know, some of the highlights, state testing season has begun in earnest. Fun times. TELPAS will be in March. TELPAS is for our emergent bilingual students. STAR and STAR Alt 2 will be the end of March through April, so we're about to hit it the season. So we've been preparing our kids all year. Remember, our assessment is about teaching the standards, not teaching to the test. We teach them the standards. They are assessed by the state, whether they know those standards or not. So, then we are also working with math and science teachers district-wide on what's deemed high-quality instructional materials. Next year, the district and all districts will have new science TEKS, new science standards, right? And they will also be up for a curriculum adoption. So as you know, one of the roles that the school board has is to approve curriculum and adoptions. So we'll be coming to you guys at our April board meeting with recommendations for science. We're also looking at, we are in need of new math, high quality instructional materials. And so as part of the LASSO grant through TEA that we had, we saw a need for that. So the math teachers are working with our district math instructional coach looking at math materials as we speak. We're also planning a visit to Lytle ISD in April to visit their elementary school, and we'll be taking some of the math teachers on the LASSO committee, and we'll be seeing that curriculum in real time with kids and talking to teachers and this and that. It's very important that teachers have the best materials. They give them everything they need, and that's what we're focusing on. Also, House Bill 1605 requires that.
1605.
Then we are preparing for our TASB policy review on March 21st and 22nd. We'll be working with the cabinet team and our TASB rep coming in and reviewing all of our policies. Also, there's a reminder for you guys as board members that there'll be a special call board meeting on March 21st at 5 p.m. for you on policy training. Fun times.
Thank you.
And you're very welcome. And so that's all we have for teaching learning report, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Shanetta. So if I could, something you mentioned about C3, college career and credential, for Yeah,
see,
so
but
it's
I
a-
can find out.
It's a title.
Okay.
I just went to some training with Region 20, and so it talks about college and career credential representative. It's actually a bona fide position. Also a CBA, college bound advisor, that speaks up under the umbrella of college careers military readiness.
Yes, so we have a college career and military ready counselor that we started this past year, so that is Miss Jessica Garza. So she attends that, and also Dr. Joseph Serna is our CTE, AKA director, because we're small, and so he attends all of that with our CTE department head, Joe Trevino. So I will look into that simply and get back to you. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Gomez.
All right, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Happy Leap Day. I told my 10-year-old last night that he was going to be 14 the next Leap Day, and I think he's still trying to process that. But I was like, all right. So it's been busy and exciting the last month at the elementary. We had our 100th day of school on February 5th. Great times, kids dress up, teachers dress up. It's just really exciting for especially at the elementary level to celebrate that day. We had a random acts of kindness week, the week of February 12th. Of course, we teach our kids to be kind all the time, but that's a good reminder, a good week to just do special activities for the kids, just to celebrate kindness across the campus. February 13 and 14, we had our reading and math interims for grades 3 to 5. So of course that helps us just meet our goals academically with our students and just prepare them for the upcoming testing. Dr. Shanetta mentioned our emergent bilingual students, but we also had a family painting night on February the 20th, and that's actually district-wide, so it's open to the whole district. And Ms. Garcia, our art teacher, comes out in the evening and puts that on for our families, so it's a great event. They have snacks, waters, juice. It's beautiful the way, I mean, she sets up the tables, the canvas, everything for the family, so that's a neat event. February 21st, we had Cole National Honor Society visit our elementary, which our kids love. I mean, those are our kids' role models at the elementary. So we had about 20-something kids from Cole come out and spend 2 to 3 hours at our elementary that morning last week. February 22nd, we got to celebrate our Cougar Cub leaders that our counselors put on. That's, if you remember, that's once a month, and our kids love that. Getting recognized, they get little gifts, certificate, pictures, all that good stuff. This past Saturday, we had our district talent show. Great event. I want to thank our board for supporting us with that. We had Colonel Retired Aaron Braxton II there present, and Andrea Nicholas. So thank you for helping with that. She's not here today, but we also had our new school liaison program manager, Andrea Black, that also helped out as a judge. So it was a great event. Mrs. Vick, which is a senior parent at Cole, she's kind of the one that oversaw that for us. So thank you to her for putting that on. Yesterday we had our Cole band visit our 5th graders and just get them excited and ready for next year, whether they're here or somewhere else, just showing them instruments, playing music for them. 5th grade loved that as well. Upcoming events just in the next few weeks. Tonight we have our 1st grade literacy night from 4:30 to 6 p.m. Tomorrow we have our monthly house color lunch. Kids love that because if you remember, they get to sit somewhere differently during lunch, so they get to sit with different students that aren't in their class. Tomorrow night we also have our pre-K movie night starting at 6:30 p.m. We plan to have it outside. Hopefully weather isn't as cold as today. Read Across America week is also next week. We have dress-up days. We have guest readers coming out, so that's a fun week right before spring break. March 6th, I want to make sure you all know this date and I can send it out to you as well. We're having our Black History Month performances, so that's on March 6th in the morning. We're still looking at finalizing our times, but we're looking at 8:10 a.m. and 9 a.m. and I can email that out once they're confirmed 100%. On Thursday, our annual Boosterthon Fun Run is taking place. I want to thank Cole, of course, because we come out here and use the field over here at Cole, and that's also a fun event, a fundraiser that our PTO puts on for our campus. And the last thing I want to mention to you is we also have our annual egg drop taking place on March 19th. So just a quick, like, what that is, it's not all students are required to participate, but those that choose to do so, they have to build something that will protect their egg when we drop it from up. Ooh, I didn't bring how high we get up there, but we get up pretty high, and the kids love that. It's a fun event, kind of like the one we did in the fall with the pumpkins, but this is kind of our spring event with that. So that's all I have for you today.
Cool. Good stuff, thank you.
Now, what he didn't share that he could have literally did American Got Talent. I mean, he was the host of
Yeah.
the talent show. He did a phenomenal job.
I was trying to leave that part out, but.
Get credit when you
Yeah,
get it.
it was fun. It's a great event. Mr. Pereira, our music teacher, and Dr. Cerno are like behind the scenes,
Yeah.
helping out, making sure. I had the easy job. I was just holding the mic and talking. They were the ones behind the scenes, making sure everything was ready for the next.
Yeah, Dr. Turner was like the Sandman, getting people off the stage.
Yes.
You gotta go. I got one more song I gotta do.
It really was a great event. We have some very talented students within our district, and I won 2 prizes.
Oh, there you go.
I had 2 of them, so I really enjoyed it, and just being able to see that self-confidence that our kiddos had to get on that stage and say or sing or play their instruments. It wasn't just sing and dance. It was instruments and the little one with the
Rubik's Cube.
and, I mean, it was an array of talent, so I did appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's good stuff.
And you said March 6th, and it's gonna be 8:10 or 9
Yes, sir. I'll
o'clock?
let you know for sure, but it's
Okay.
going to be in the morning on March 6th.
March
And
6th.
Ms. File, which also does an amazing job with our students with drama, she's putting that together for us.
Got it. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Dr. Sarna.
Hi, Dr. Duke. So you're gonna hear some overlap. It's 2 schools in the district, so a lot of the stuff we do it together. So we did have our Black History Month celebration on the 22nd, so I wanna thank you all for supporting and coming out to that event. We always bring an outside speaker in just to share thoughts and insight, and then our students, you know, they do a great job representing the school district. It's usually what we hear from visitors. They say you have outstanding students.
Cool.
And that's a big part of our culture here, is how we represent ourselves. We had a very successful talent show. It's fun. The funds go to the senior class, so we try to, you know, put all that together, and that's where the elementary really steps up and helps out Cole. They do host it, and we're using their stage. A lot of their staff get together and help us with it, and the parents end up being parents of both schools. So that's what's great about Fort Sam Houston ISD is parents have children in all levels here, and that's a great opportunity for everybody to come together. We're working on our CTE, we brought that up, Dr. Shanetta, Career Technology Education. We have to work on a comprehensive needs assessment, a CLNA, Comprehensive Local Needs Assessment, CLNA, every 2 years, and this is year 2. So that opens up in April. We'll probably wrap that up in the summertime, and that just carries us on for another 2 years. At the same time, we're working on the Purple Star designation. That's another 2 year. So those 2 things are happening right now as we get to the close of the school year. Juniors are taking the SAT, March 5th. We have that scheduled for March 5th. So our 11th graders will take the SAT, and other students who are open and eligible to taking that test can also do it that day as well. And we had a couple of SAT study preps. We had one last Saturday. We're trying to put one together again for this Saturday. Depends, you know, if we win on Friday basketball, then Saturday we may have to revisit. And we have a college and career night coming up. That's on March 26th at 5:30. College and career, you're gonna have some local or area universities come set up a table, give students information or families information. But we also have on-the-spot interviews happening. So some of the JBSA commands and different agencies will hire students for summer. And they'll meet students and they can offer positions at that time. So it's in partnership with JBSA, and Andrea Black helps put that together with us too. That's all I have.
Can you repeat the time on the career, college career?
5:30 p.m.
5:30.
I might not have said that, but March 26th, 5:30 p.m. here in the high school mall.
Two questions, Dr. Sarna.
Yes, sir.
Great report. SAT prep day. I know, because So I'm in that window now, as an 11th grader. Not that I'm 11th grader, but I am 11th grader. I wish I could go back. I changed some things in life, no. But SAT prep and ACT prep, I know a lot of institutions of higher learning don't require SAT and ACTs. And so, but again, a lot of other institutions are still requiring that. And so, as much as we can to get out that information, because I wasn't privy to the SAT prep. Again, that may be just me not being on social media. So I try to be linked in and connected in. But I think that we probably need to look at ways in which we just put that information out for SAT and ACT prep, because as we know, that is the gatekeeper still for most institutions for enrollment.
Right, we can do that, and SATs for scholarship, it helps us in that area too, so that's true. We can put that out, share that as kind of a college and career indicator. It'll help us get some points on both sides of it. We get parents informed, students involved, and we can show that we're reaching out to all our communities. It's true. Good, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Schneider. Dr. Sultan.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I just wanted to take this time to thank Mr. Gomez and Dr. Serna for always including our students that are at the co-op. So you can't tell, but they are part of each and every activities that happens at Cole, that happens at Fort Sam Elementary. So thank you so much for always being inclusive of the students at the co-op. Dr. Schneider mentioned STAR and STAR All, so we are working with the kids. We are also working with the families to make sure that our kids are getting the rest and the sleep they need to do better. And STAR All is one that we have several students taking that. March 26th is a very important date for us, career and College and Career Fair. We have partnered with EFMP, and we will have the transition coordinator, so we have opportunities for students with disabilities to also be present and represented at the same fair that is being held at Cole.
Oh, good.
So I'm excited about that.
Good inclusion there.
We're doing great things there.
Yeah, that's good.
In partnership with our cohorts right there. So thank you.
It's good. Inclusion there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sultan.
Thank you, sir. Glad to see you, that you're getting better.
In there. All right. Ms. Novak.
We have begun preliminary work on the 2024-2025 budget. Salary surveys that are conducted through TASB, we will be reviewing those in our effort to meet our goals of being competitive with surrounding school districts with our salaries, and that's at all levels, our auxiliary staff as well as teachers and campus support staff. The budget module in our system has been opened, and campuses and departments can begin entering their budget requests for non-payroll items for next year. We're continuing to monitor federal funding with all the continuing resolutions that are going on. It's something that we are tracking and hoping to hear more information when we attend the NAFIS conference in March. And punch list items for the Mosley Gym are almost complete, but they've still got a few items they are finishing up. And that completes my report, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Julie.
Ms. Marquez.
Good morning, or
Good morning. Good afternoon.
Two quick things. We can never not be focused on cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is a moving target at all times. So over the past month, the technology department got to attend 2 different conferences and events where we're really staying abreast and making sure that we're aware of all of the potential threats or new things that are coming up. Our network administrator, Mr. Adam Salinas, has been instrumental in working with the Region Service Center as well as the state and also national entities to make sure that our district is forward thinking and exactly what we can do to help enhance our cybersecurity posture. So I just wanted to share that that's been taking place over the month. I also wanted to highlight Mr. Wasey Tobler is our secondary digital learning coach. He presented at TCA, which was a conference that happened in early February. What he presented on behalf of the tech department, so typically at the end of the year, school districts rely on their tech team to collect all of the student devices. And so it's a big, huge task that takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, and then we spend the whole summer cleaning, updating, and kind of fixing those devices. Mr. Tobler and I actually had an idea last fall, because we want to work smarter, not harder, and we have a student group that's called the Dell Tech Kid Crew, and they are Dell certified students that have a special certification for us. And we actually leveraged them, and they helped to create a student-centered device collection program that we did last May. We were done with device collection in 3 days. We did not have to touch the devices all summer, and it proved to be really, really useful for us in August. So Mr. Tobler presented on behalf of the district to all other districts at this conference to give them some examples of how we can get our students more involved in that process. It gave them a lot of ownership in it. Also, they're certified, and so we were really, really excited to have our kids highlighted in such a big conference. And we have a lot of other school districts that are contacting us saying, how did you do that again? And can you help us with that? So I just wanted to share that with you, that we were really, really thrilled to show off our district a little bit.
It's outstanding.
How many
That's all.
students do we have, and did you say it or I missed it?
It varies. I don't have the exact number, but I want to say off the cuff, we have 10 to 15 students. And they're part of a curriculum that Dell puts on. Mr. Tobler helps them through flex period at Cole to get through the curriculum, and at the end of the year, they actually truly get certified to help fix and manage Dell devices. It's a really, really great program that we have. And we gave them hands-on experience and said, we need you, and they stepped up. They really, really helped us.
That's really good.
And it's called Dell Tech Student.
I think it's called the Dell Student Tech Crew. Yes, sir.
So Microsoft would be upset with that. No, I'm just
We don't discriminate here, but we do use Dell devices, so we figured that was exactly where we wanted to put our kids, because all of our Chromebooks are Dell Chromebooks.
Kudos on the team.
Yes.
I have one question.
Yes.
So since we've been live, I guess this is board two.
Two?
What challenges have you seen that are showstoppers or barriers for the district? I got a chance on the last board meeting. I was at home due to, illness. I had walking pneumonia for 2 weeks. I didn't know it, but I got a chance to LinkedIn. I thought it was phenomenal. I had easy access. Right, I didn't get knocked off. But again, that's my limited lens. Have you seen any challenges or barriers?
Sir, I just think I'm always a perfectionist at heart, and so I always think we can do a better job at the audio and visual quality overall. But that inherently, this building itself creates limitations in that. And so to me, I'm really appreciative that you said that, because when I watch it, I don't like the sound quality. And I think the video could be better, right? But that's just because we want to highlight the district as best we can. We're utilizing devices and materials we already had here without spending any money. So that's kind of what we're trying to do. But that's my answer, I would say, is we're just trying to get better a little bit at a time. But I'm glad that you find it valuable.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes. Anything else?
Good deal.
All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Coach Norman.
Afternoon.
Afternoon.
Just want to take about 3 minutes of your time today to kind of highlight athletics. Busy in the spring. Our kids are doing great things. So Delaney O'Neill was up here earlier talking about swimming, and I don't think she didn't do it justice all the way. How great they've done this year. When you think of a region and going to state, we are allowed to have 75% of a region represent that region in state, no more, of the total state participants. Our region had 65%. So it kind of shows you how competitive our swim region was. This was the first time that we've had boys and girls compete at state in the same year. We set 13 new school records, including events that have never been swam before in a long distance event meets, as well as UIL relay events. Girls set new school records in the 200 free relay, 400 medley relay, 800 free relay, 1,000 freestyle, 200 backstroke, 200 breaststroke, and 400 individual medley relay. Our boys set new school records in the 200 free relay, 400 medley relay, the 800 free relay, the 1,000 meter freestyle, 200 meter breaststroke, and the 200 meter butterfly. So quite the accomplishment for our swim team this year. And going forward, we have a lot of kids coming back, so that's something we're going to build on and continue with our tradition and swim and continue to break these school records. Every meet, I appreciate the parents. They kind of indoctrinated me into swim. I'm learning too. Ms. O'Neill, all took me in and kind of showed me it's fast paced and it's going, and every race it seemed like new school record. So super excited about our swim program and what they did. Our girls basketball fell short last week in the regional semifinals. Coming up pretty soon, we are going to announce, we haven't told the kids yet, so I'm not going to announce names, but we have 5 first-team all-district selections, second-team all-district selections, and 7 academic all-district selections. More importantly, those 7 academic all-district selections comprises about 90% of our girls basketball program. So that's good on the varsity level. We also have the district MVP and the district offensive player of the year. So I'm really excited about what the girls did this year. Our boys basketball, we're playing the regional semifinals this Friday. Once we win Friday, we're going to be playing the regional finals on Saturday. And then state tournament will happen at the Alamo Dome next Thursday and Friday. So we'll get that information out to everyone. The game Friday will be live streamed. It'll be on the FSHISD network, and we'll get that information out. That does require a monthly subscription, but it will be available online to those who can't be there. Our baseball and softball programs are going. It's a tournament season, so I got a chance to see our baseball team. I will see our softball team tomorrow. So they're good. Fields are working out well. Golf, we have 3 players on our team. Coach Bench pointed out that every one of our golfers have improved by at least 10 strokes since our first tournament this year. So we're seeing consistent improvement in all our programs. Next tournament, Monday is for the girls and Wednesday for the boys at Randolph, so I plan to be out there to check them out. And our tennis season's underway. We're at a FSHISD tournament today, and that's where I'll be going this afternoon and check out our tennis teams. And then track and field, super excited. Our numbers started kind of low. We have 90 middle school athletes right now competing in track and field for us. Last week, our 8th grade girls took first place at the Seguin meet. Our 7th grade girls took second place. Last night, I know at least one mom was there at Smithville, Texas with us freezing last night when we had our boys and girls out. But our varsity girls were the champions of that meet. So super proud of them. A lot of those girls we just got out, and we started with 40 kids total in our track program 2 weeks ago, and we traveled with 82 last night. So growing programs. And then finally, our 2024 Cold Cougar Relays that happened on February 22nd. It's the first track meet we've hosted in over 3 years. Huge success. Every school that attended has reached out to me to make sure they had their place reserved for next year. So I just want to give a special thank you to our PTSO, our Cole families, facilities, technology team, and our grounds crew for your support and making it a success. Couldn't have done it without any of you guys. It's truly a community event, and we look forward to hosting one again next year.
Cool.
Have any questions? Anyone?
I have 2 if I could.
Yes, sir.
I mean, phenomenal track meet. I volunteered, and
Yes, sir.
it was a lot of moving parts.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I'm just like I was in the way.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. Question, what do we do for when people break school records? Like, do we hang banners? Like, what do we do in support of? That's a big deal.
We do. And individually, there hasn't been anything done. That's something that we're talking to within athletics. And, team-wise, we have the banners in the gym and celebrate each sport and what we do team-wise accomplishments.
Yeah.
But we are going to celebrate those types of things at the City Awards also.
Yeah, because I've seen different banners hung, and they talked about records
Yes, sir.
being broken.
Yes, sir.
And so I knew a young boy, Duplessis, he was a track star, and he broke countless records.
Right.
And it blew my mind that he went to college and he said, I want to run no more. I'm like, what?
Yes, sir.
He said he woke up one day and said he don't want to run anymore.
Yes, sir.
And so he broke countless records, but
Right.
we never gave him his flowers.
Right.
Right, during the time that he was in.
Right. We are going to celebrate those successes during the City Awards.
Okay.
And team-wise, we put them on the banners in the gym.
Okay. And then the second thing, if I can.
Yes, sir.
I know we do a great job on signing day for athletes.
Yes, sir.
What about a signing day for academics? That is just as big as athletics. And so I heard someone talk about that at a Harvard review, and they talked about signing day for academics.
Yes, sir.
Right? And I submit to you, academics gonna take you further than athletics. I personally know. It didn't work for me.
Yes, sir.
So, but, just something that to toy with, not sure that's something we can implement here, but again, it's just worthwhile to think about. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Coach.
Cool.
I will share that.
You got one- you got one-
This is just a
one-
comment, it's fine. In the past, they did actually do plaques and nameplates
Mhm.
for students that broke records. And I'm speaking to that because my sister's record is still there, B.
Right.
Nicholas in the 100. So it was something that actually was on plaques that we stored in our trophy cases, to where those people, when they came back, they could see if someone broke their record or
Yes, ma'am.
see how long it's still residing there.
You being an alumnus of Cole,
I've
you
seen
know
it.
how successful we are, so we're having
Yes.
problems just storing all these. So we gotta have some long term.
Small print,
See, that's
small
what I'm saying.
print.
Yes, ma'am.
Big
Yes,
flat,
ma'am, but I got you.
small print.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Abbreviated.
Yeah, it can happen. And I'm so proud of them. I'm glad to see I was at the track meet as well, and I was really, really impressed and glad to see all the students there, and I knew that track could work. I knew it. It can happen, and it did.
Absolutely. Coach Norman, I really want to make sure I take time and thank you and appreciate what you have done in a year, in less than a year's time with our sports program. Because there's nothing perfect, but you have increased in every area of sports. Either our kids competing at a higher level, competing at state levels, and or the increased number of students. Because we have students here that play 3 sports because we're in 3A schools, so they have to play 3 sports. To be able to compete, to be able to bring the money in that you're now bringing in, what you're doing, I just want to make sure that that doesn't go unnoted. So I appreciate you. And I know we got other things on the table that we're looking at, right? And nothing happens overnight. We're looking at our speaker systems and everything. We're looking at our technology, trying to increase the technology for here, right? But we got a timeline on that. So the fact that you are working it and got the numbers, that's what matters the most. And great action officer, as we call it. Appreciate you, Bill.
Could be doing it without the parents.
Yeah.
And
Or-
coaches too.
Oh, absolutely.
Amazing.
You have a great staff.
Yes, sir.
You have a great staff. You really do. Any other comments, board members? Hearing none. All right. Agenda item 9, the Board of Trustee comments. Board members, you can, any comments on district or local events, any conferences you attended, staff, trustees, recognition, or anything?
I'll just say one thing, right, and this goes to Coach Moore, right, as the athletic director, we're only as good as those in which we listen to, right? And I know that when you serve in a position of that magnitude, right, some people like to talk and some people like to listen. You listen. You listen through the Athletic Parents Advisory Committee, the PTSO, right? The people that say, you got a minute, right? And it turned out to be 30 minutes, right? And so I say that to each of the administrators, right, of all the campuses. Like, we really appreciate all that you do, right? Because you give your undivided time, right? Which you just can't get back. Right? It just goes further down on your calendar of events that you have to tackle for the rest of that day. And so, but again, that still is directed to the superintendent, right? To giving them that latitude, that bandwidth to actually serve in that capacity, right? Unapologetic oftentimes as well. So we want to say appreciate you as well, superintendent, for the guidance and the direction in which you allow them to blossom. And that's why we have a district of this magnitude. So with that, I say thank you.
We will be playing next Thursday.
Yes, sir.
Or
That was in the language of what he said, when we
we
win.
will be playing.
Not if, he said when we win, so that's spoken.
Ms. Nichols, you got anything?
I was speaking as they were doing, so I'm.
Okay. I just want to share, I had the opportunity to attend the Texas Caucus of Black School Board Members for the region of Bexar County all the way up to North Austin on behalf of Dr. Sizer, who was unable to attend. And one of the great things about those conferences, it was a conference of around, the numbers fluctuated, 119 and 125 attendees. Why was that great? Because all of the conferences we attend, there are 2,000 to 5,000 people. And no one gets their questions answered. But this one here was, we're at tabletops, and we're able to discuss every issue of the course that was being briefed to us. You don't have an opportunity to do that often. There was two things that really struck my core and made me feel great about, for me, for what I do, which is here to support the academics, safety, health and welfare, financial management of the district. Why is that important? One of the briefers, Dr. Fleming, was given a briefing on DeSoto ISD. And DeSoto ISD had been taken over by TEA. And what she did was, so we hear about all these school districts that are being taken over by TEA. And let me tell you something, parents, community, it is a ton. I look at it all the time. You know, I can talk about the South Side, I can talk about Pearsall, I can talk about A-Leaf, I can talk about, you know, Harlandale, Edgewood. The list goes on of schools that's been taken over because of their academic standards. Anytime a school district is under a C rating, TEA, Texas Education Agency, will take over that district and decide a conservator to run, and the board, to run the district, and the board is no longer there. Why she sat there, what was great is when she broke it down and was transparent and showed all of the deficiencies in what their district have had, I was like, wow. They were a D-rated school. But guess what? They won a state championship. But they're D-rated. I was amazed. A-Leaf ISD, same thing. Houston ISD is being taken over right now. Either they took it over last week or it's going to take it over. That debate is still going, right? But it's right there at being taken over. Why? Because of academics. But they're competing at state level competitions consistently. Here at Cole, we're an A-rated, have been as long as I can ever remember. And we're competing at state level against 5A, 6A schools. So when you look at those two together, ask yourself where you want to be. Do you want to be in a school who has a swimming team competing against larger school districts, but yet my child is getting A-rated education, you know? Or do you want to be in a school system that is all about the sports and basketball, you know? I won't even name Justin ISD and all of those school districts. Nothing negative, but I won't name them, right? But I did, right?
You named them.
But I'm just using it as an example because I think it's important. See, we only focus on one district, and that's the district we're in. I focus on all the state. The entire state. What is the state doing? That's what matters to me. And how are we performing above state level, not at state level? That's not a positive. It's how we are performing above state level. And so when we're competing as a 3A, and we're competing and we're winning in various academic decathlons and technology decathlons and sporting events, but yet our academics is an A-rated, that's where I want to be. That's where we want to stay at. And so I love to take that and pull it all together for one simple reason. When I saw the numbers of those school districts who over budgeted $21 million, and then we just had an audit, A rating, high as you can get. We consistently have an A rating. That's what I look at, is the totality of the greatness, not one individual thing. But I had no idea how school systems were taken over. I just knew why they were taken over. But when they broke it down and started showing you because of the boards can't get along together at disarray, the school district finances are well underbalanced, overfunded, okay, overspent. The academics are below a C. I mean, let that soak in. You want your kid in that school? You know, that's what I look at. And we are, it opened my eyes up to a information that I just had never seen. And it took that school district 2 years to get their school back. 2 years. 2 years, when TA took it over, took them 2 years to get it back. So I thought that was probably the most compelling working groups that I was had a chance to be a part of. And so I just wanted to share that because that list that they showed of schools being taken over is just mind blowing. It's mind blowing. That's it. That's all I had. Agenda item 10, the financial report for January 2024. The superintendent recommends approving the financial report for January 2024 as submitted. Board members, any questions, comments? Hearing none, is there a motion for this agenda item? 10.
Mr. President, I recommend approving the financial report for January 2024 as submitted.
Is there a second?
Oh, I second.
All in favor?
I, Andrea Nicholas.
I, Colonel Retired Aaron Bryson, second.
Aye, Willie White. The motion passes. Agenda item number 11, renewal of the property liability and fleet insurance. The superintendent recommends approving the renewal of the property liability and fleet insurance with the Texas Association of School Board Risk Management Fund as submitted.
So it's been a tough year for risk management.
Yes.
And as I visit with my counterparts across the state in several meetings I've been in, everybody's struggling with the same thing we are. Huge premium increases that are driven by what's been happening with storms, as well as increase in the assessment of what the value of the property is. And that's being driven by high construction costs. So we were told to budget for about a 30% increase in premiums, and it wound up being closer to a 40% increase in premiums. But again, visiting with my counterparts, whether it's through TASB or other insurance companies, that's just the world we're in right now. So TASB has been it to us when we had a major claim several years ago. They were Johnny on the spot taking care of us. So we are recommending that we continue with TASB and move forward, sir.
That was another great meeting that we had at the caucus that I just attended. And TASB, Mr. Hiawatha, he presented. He's the one of the claims officers. And he explained exactly what, he broke it down to us exactly what you're speaking of the high increase with the risk management program, you know, in the insurance. So that was eye-opening too, because I never looked at it the way he broke it down and talked about all the way down to from storms, you know, the money that they're, you know, the insurance are paying on the storms of the schools and things of that nature, just to name one. But he broke it down to it the way we could understand it, and that was actually another one of my highlights, because it's all about funding for me too. So, yeah, he did a great. Did I pronounce his name right, Julie? Is it Hython Franks?
I'd have to go back and look at it.
Yeah.
He's not the one I normally deal with, but I know they've got quite a few people in that office.
Okay,
so.
okay. Yeah, he was really good. He was really good. Board members, any comments, questions? Hearing none, is there a motion for this agenda item?
Mr. President, I recommend approving the renewal of the property liability and fleet insurance with the Texas Association of School Boards Risk Management Fund as.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor?
I, Andrea Nicholas.
I, Colonel Aaron Bryson, second.
I, Willie White. Majority vote, the motion passes. Agenda item number 12 is the Extended School Year ESY Services Program for the Military School District Special Education Cooperative. The superintendent recommends the 2024 Extended School Year ESY Service Programs for the Military School District Special Education Cooperative as submitted.
It's simple to do it. It is annually for those students that need that extended year service throughout the summer. I believe that's in your packets, the dates on that.
Yeah. Board members, any comments? If none, do we have a motion for this agenda item?
Mr. President, I recommend that we approve the 2024 Extended Year Services Program, the Military School District Special Education Program as submitted.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor?
I, Colonel Retired Aaron Bryson, second.
I, Andrea Nicholas.
I, Willie White. The majority vote, the motion passes. Thank you. Agenda item 13 is a public hearing on the 2022-2023 District Annual Report, which includes the Texas Academic Performance Report, known as TAPER, and HB3 Progress Goals Update. There's no action needed. This is for discussion only, and you have the floor. Dr. Shanetta, I will tell you, honestly, it took me 2 hours just to get through this one, to understand it. But you know what? I am ready. I am ready.
You read it?
Thank you for giving me this.
You're welcome, you're welcome. You also have a copy of the slideshow in front of you?
Roger.
We're good. So the purpose today is to present to the board and to the public the district annual report for 2022 and 23. This annual report is what TEA considers the final report on the school year. There's a lot of parts to it. This is a requirement to present to the board, and then you'll see this is agenda item number 13. The next agenda item 14 will be the public comments. We'll have an opportunity for that. I want to thank Ms. Lori Fuller. You know, the teaching and learning department has grown. We have a lot of amazing people that support our campuses, but this lady is the brains behind this department. I have the vision. She has the brains. Not that I don't have brains, but she put together this.
Or she don't have vision.
Yeah. Well, she has vision too. We work very well together. And this presentation she put together with me. And so I just wanted to give her a huge thank you.
Cool.
All right, so let's do this. So there's eight sections to this report. They are in front of you. I'm going to only give you the highlights. You have the entire report, and I'm going to give you the highlights of them. Otherwise, we'd be here all day. So the TAPER, Texas Academic Performance Report, is compiled by TEA for every district and every campus in the state of Texas. It uses PEIMS data and student assessment data. It's also published as a PDF. That is a requirement. We also are required to put it on our campuses. It's always outside my office, so if anybody comes up, we also put it on our websites. So you will see when we talk about TAPER, it is about student performance, and it gives you a lot of information about our student groups and how they do, our ethnicity and our socioeconomic status. It talks about district staff and their programs we have and their demographics and staff demographics, so there's a lot in here. The TAPER, if it was a typical year in 22-23, we would have had an accountability rating. As you know, TEA is in a lawsuit. There is not an accountability rating at this time. They will also have a special ed designation determination status that has to do with whether we meet requirements or not. We always do, but again, that is something that is not coming out at this time. Also, we have what's called distinct designations, where you go over and beyond and like something like post-secondary readiness. We earn those designations, but again, this year, TEA has not put that out, okay? But we still have a lot of good data to drive how we instruct kids and how we support kids, okay? So the STAR performance reported for 22-23, we're gonna go into all the 3 performance rates. You guys know this because you have been trained very well. Approaches means you pass, but does not mean you're on grade level. Meets means you're on grade level. Masters is above grade level. Okay, we're going to go into the highlights of reports for each of the assessments, including college assessments. We're going to go into all grades, all subjects, and we are going to look at the grades that are in front of you. And I'm going to go over the highlights. So here we go. So our first one is STAR Math Meets. Okay, and meets is on grade level. I'm going to give you a moment to look at this graph. You'll see the blue is 2023, the gray is 2022, and then the yellow is region 20, and the state is green. Give you a moment to look at how we did. And I also want to remind you, this past year was the first year of the STAR redesign, so it was very new for everybody. The state did not give us a year to get used to it. They said, just take it. And so we had a lot of new test items, and so it was the first year of STAR redesign. So our teachers have worked very hard to get these results with their kids. So we have increased from 2022 in all grade levels except 5th and 7th, and we are above in all grade levels of the state and region. Now, masters, we're not required to report this out in the district annual report. report, but I thought it was very important to put it in. Because remember, Dr. Bates' charge is that every student is on grade level or above, and that every student leaves us college, career, or military ready, right? And that is what we are always working towards. So our masters are kids that are above grade levels. And I think I've told you guys this before. When I study other school districts and I look at their data, I don't look at approaches and meets. I go straight to their masters, because if they're in the double digits, they're doing something right. And so this is our master's level. And so you'll see that we are in a double digits. All right, now we're gonna jump to RLA. And this is meets on grade level. So we increased from 2022 in every grade level except 4th, 5th, and English 2. All grade levels are above the region and state. So we do very well, but the teaching and learning department and the campus principals and their teams, we focus on the percentage of kids that are not at meets. Okay? So I'm gonna give you an example and let you guys do the math. 3rd grade reading. Meets on grade level 69%. What percentage of the kids that are not on grade level yet? 31%. So when people tell me, you guys are doing so great, why are you doing anything different? Well, that's why we're doing things different. Okay? And so again, if you also notice, our reading is just so phenomenal. So kids can read here. They can comprehend here. Our math is lower, but remember with COVID, what did you hear? The math skills were missing, and we're still catching up from that, right? So, but our kids can read. So that means they can do the math. The math test is a reading test, but they gotta know how to do the math, okay? So that's our meets. This is our masters in RLA. And you'll see we're in the double digits and above the region in the state.
If I could,
You can, sir, because it's a long presentation, so let's do slide by slide. What you got?
we want to do slide by slide.
Oh.
I'm not good
Go
at
ahead.
that.
But we can
So,
though, because it's a long
When
presentation.
you talked about meets and masters, and I know we put in region and state, but we're really competing against ourselves, right? When we say that we have high standard for self, right? Regardless of what the region says, regardless of what the state, because I know they're factoring in everyone in the state, right? Those underprivileged areas, et cetera. So that kind of sausage making there. But I got a chance to tour with Dr. Cerner, one of the classrooms, and the interventionist was going over some math, right? To kind of refocus efforts in math outside of their core classrooms. I think that was critical, right? That we have people that has the bandwidth to teach, not just, be in a room to ensure for behavior purposes, but also for academics.
Sure.
And so that was huge, and I appreciate that.
In a little bit, I'm going to show you some data on intervention and what that shows you. Because for the first time, TEA and their accountability system is looking at how we provide interventions to kids that did not pass. And so you'll see where we are with that. So this is the master's RLA. So this is science. Science is tested in 3 grade levels for the state of Texas. And you'll see grades 5, 8 in biology on grade level. So we had growth from last year in 8th, but no growth in 5th in biology. We're above the state and region and all. So our challenge, even though math is, before, if I had to rank them, science would be first right now, because next year you're gonna have new standards and we're gonna have a new adoption. So that's huge. So we can't keep doing what we were doing, right? So we have to support our teachers and we have to make sure they have the resources. And then it would be math, right? And then we'd be ensuring that kids, all of them can read when they get into 3rd grade. But right now, math and science, and it's no different for any other district. So this is where we are in grade level for science. This is where we are on masters for science. Social studies are 2 grade levels where they assess by the state. And this is our meets data. stayed the same, and this is really interesting because when Ms. Fuller and I saw the stat, I thought, are you sure this is correct? I mean, how many times do you see year to year the exact same thing? But for me, as the assistant superintendent, we didn't have growth. Okay? And so that's an area for us to continue to work on, and we have been working on that, and we are above the state and region in both. Our master's data for social studies above grade level is in front of you. So it's interesting, for social studies, just the same that we stayed, right? So if you've got to look at the questions. And again, remember, there were new test items. So the teachers and the coaches have broken out with, why didn't we get growth? Was it the new test items? Was it not? Those are the things that they've been working on. They've also been attending some trainings at Region 20 to support the work. Okay, so the next section of the taper talks about Domain 2 of accountability system, which is about student growth. School progress is what they call it. And there are two areas of school progress. It's called academic growth, which is the percentage of improvement or growth students have made. And then it is also accelerated learning, which is the intervention that you were talking about, sir, the 45-45, House Bill 45 performance. And that is new this year. And so, again, when you look at it, we've exceeded the state and region scores in all of the 16 areas. Because for academic growth, it's in reading and math only, and reading and math only for accelerated learning. And there's 16 areas, because you go each grade, reading math, each grade, reading math. And so, House Bill 45-45, when we've exceeded the state and region, it tells you that our intervention programs are doing what they need to do to get the results. Okay? And so, you also have to understand the methodology changed dramatically from 22 to 23, and they also added in this House Bill 45-45. So they're not reporting out and ranking us in that, right? They're not scoring us in that. They're just giving us the data, right? And it's great data for us. Okay, so this is school progress. The next section is about bilingual education and English as a second language. There are various ESL bilingual education program instructional models and groups in the state of Texas. You see them all listed. We don't have all of them, and there's no need for us to have all of them. But we do have models 8 through the 14, and these are the type of models and services that we have for our students that are identified as emergent bilingual. And you'll see that our STAR performance, our annual growth, and our accelerated learning, which is the intervention, we were above the state and region in all areas. One of the areas that we are working with this group, Ms. Lori Fuller is the district coordinator for emergent bilingual. And so she's working with our teachers to ensure that they have the right materials to support these kids because English is their second language. So she has been working in that area, and she also meets with campus reps and their administrators on a regular basis. So remember, every student counts in accountability. So even though we have a small group of these students, they still count. They're still just as important. So we have to make sure they're taken care of.
What's the percentage of BL, ESL? Okay.
What percent
Of what?
of emergent bilingual?
It's
Like
small.
district-wide?
Yeah.
Oh, like, there's only like 40 kids in
Yeah,
the
it's
whole
small.
district.
very small. So that's this data. So we are doing, but we still have area to improve. So we're working on that. This one's easy. STAR participation, basically it's students that showed up and tested, right? And so our assessment participant percentage is always very high. Not tested was only 1%, right? And so when kids don't show up, campus administrators start calling them real quick in the morning, right, to get them here. And so that's that data.
So I have one question
Yes,
on
sir.
that. I was confused. So what did you mean by not included in the accountability model, 7%? I didn't understand that one. Not included in the accountability?
It's the mobility.
What is that?
The mobility, as much as they've moved, that the TA just doesn't count that piece. There was 7% of kids. We have a high mobility rate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Transit.
Does that make sense?
It does now.
Move forward. Good. Anything else you wanna add?
Basically, it's like the kids who are not here long enough to even add, like they're not here on snapshot
Snapshot
day.
day.
The snapshot day is in October, we don't test till spring. So
that means that basically what you're saying is between October and when we take the test, we have 7% changeover in the grades for the test.
Got it. Thank you.
All right, so now we're gonna get into attendance, graduation, and dropout rates. And there is a lot of data on this. And so, our attendance rate, went down from 2021 to 2022. For us, we always look at 95% or higher as our expectation, so we were at 95%. Please know that the campus administrative teams are very much aware of attendance, and so we track it every couple of weeks when we meet. We talk about what we're doing to ensure kids are at school. The state also now reports chronic absenteeism, which is the unduplicated number of K through 12 students enrolled for at least 10 days and absent for 10% or more days. And we increased in that area. So attendance is a focus for us. Whereas before, kids come to school, we've always just done really well. Well, we are now borderline, 95%. And so we are actively aware of that, and we are actively working with campuses on that. And making sure that our data, because our kids are involved in a lot of things, so they're gone a lot. So we have to make sure our data, that our teachers are taking correct attendance, because sometimes they miss something, we have to fix it. So, I don't know if you want to add anything about attendance.
I mean, all school districts are struggling with attendance since COVID, so for us, I mean, we're still above what I hear a lot of other school districts are at the 95%. A lot of school districts are in the 93 and 94%.
Yeah, that's one of the comments I
Just something we're
had.
not used to, right?
Yeah,
But you
I was
think
looking
that-
at it. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Ping pong. What I was thinking is, 21, right? We still were in the height of COVID, right? That attendance would be a problem, but now 22, you would think that we've kind of mellowed out a little bit.
But in 21, we were still, kids could choose to be virtual or not, and so that affected our, and TEA also did some grandfathering, they did some adjustments to our attendance rates because of COVID, and then that ended in 21. So in 22, there were no more adjustments to attendance because of COVID.
Annual dropout rate, you'll see the years, 2022, 0.4%. We had 2 students that, even though we did everything we could do, they came back as dropouts, because when they leave us, they go where they go, and if they show, they show. So we ended up having 2 dropouts, which is something we're not used to, right? We've always had 0. And so it's very important with coding and our lever, and so Ms. Sasha Rios and Dr. Cerna's team, they just got done doing a lever audit. So we are on it. We have checks and balances in place to ensure that every one of our grades 7 through 8, 9 through 12, that they are not down as levers. And so, but we did have 2 in 22. The 4-year longitudinal rate, and so I'm just gonna, real quick, 4, 5, 6 year, I mean, basically the longitudinal graduation rate consists of students who first attended 9th grade in a certain year. So in 18-19, it was the kids that attended 9th grade in 18-19, and then they're followed through their expected graduation class. So did they graduate in the 4 years? That's what that data shows. And again, we do a very good job with that. Our data is very high. On the next few slides, I'm going to talk about our graduation diploma programs and our 2021-22 graduates and their profiles. So this has a lot of acronyms to it, but these are basically our graduation programs. So when you see FHSP, Texas Foundation High School Program. That is considered the baseline for graduation, right? And if you look at our data, longitudinal and annual, you'll see what percentages, what are our kids, they're going way above the foundational high school program. You can see that, right? See the 88, 91%, 91%. So you see that. They're going above it. They're also doing the Distinguished Achievement Program, right? Some of them are doing all of them plus an endorsement, okay? So we do a really good job with graduating our seniors with very much more than just the baseline. Okay, so that's some of that for you. Our graduates, a little bit of a profile of our 21-22 graduates. You'll see that at that time we had 104. You'll see by ethnicity. You'll see by graduation type. And then you'll see how many of them were in I call them special programs, special ed, at-risk. CTE completers are the ones that they take each level of program of study each year. So level 1 of culinary, level 2 of culinary, level 3, level 4, so on and so on. So you'll see that data. We are now going to get into college, career, and military ready. Some data for you to see. It is a lot of data, so I'm going to try to simplify it for you. So this first one that you're looking at is at the very top. You'll see college, career, and military ready annual graduates. You'll see 21-22 and 20-21. These are the kids that leave us that are college, career, and military ready. And so in 21-22 for the graduating class, it was 67.3% was our accountability for that piece. And then what they do is they take CCMR and they break it down. So by college ready, what percentage of our students left us college ready? And if you remember, you have all the CCMR indicators under each of these, right? So like if you earned an industry-based certification, if you enlisted in the United States Armed Forces, things like that. And it breaks it down. And so what I wanted to show you was for our TSI, if you look at our TSI criteria graduates in English, the second one up there under college ready graduates, for 21-22, we were above the state and the region for our TSI. And remember, TSI is college entry exams, okay? So in order to get into dual credit and stuff like that, you've got to pass and do well on those exams. You'll see in mathematics, we were below the region and the state in 21-22. The TSI criteria graduates in both subjects, we were below. We only offer advanced placement. We do not offer international baccalaureate. And so most schools do either one or the other. They can't do both. It's difficult. We were above the state and the region in our advanced placement. We do not have associate's degrees at this time. You'll see our dual course credits in any subject. We were a little bit below the district and the state. Our on-ramps is a dual enrollment, it's a form of dual credit. We were above the state and the region. So when you think about college ready, you think about TSI and preparing our children to do that, and they start taking that as a sophomore. Advanced placement, dual credit, dual enrollment. That's the name of the game. We want our kids to leave us college ready. They got to do well on one or more of those areas.
The question,
Yes,
so
sir.
CCMR, the military portion, and they're talking about enlisted, but we do have individuals that are commissioning as well, and I don't know if that information is captured because we have at least 6 Cougars going to either prep academy
Correct.
or the actual service academy.
Yes. So the state of Texas, the TA, has a process in place and a form that you must complete if they are going to enlist.
Okay.
And that is, when you see up here,
It's
the
on the
very
list.
top,
Mhm.
yeah. So you see at the very top, it says career or military ready,
Yeah.
right? And again, 7.7%. So it's only if you enlist. Yeah. I wish it was the other. Approved industry-based certifications, those are our CTE programs of study. Probably the year before, I think, Dr. Cernan, we were at 0%. So we are working very much in aligning our CTE learning curriculum to our industry-based certifications, and Dr. Cernan and his team have been working nonstop on that. And so even though, remember, this data is lagging, I see you're going to see another increase the year after and the year after, because we've had more and more kids take it and pass it. And we have different IBCs, remember, one for culinary, one for each of our programs of study. Right? And then the bottom here is the graduates with level 1 or 2 certificates and IEPs. This is our identified special education population and how they do. So our next slide is TSI and college prep. Okay? And what you'll see here is how our kids perform in relation to state and region. TSI in reading and math, we were below the state and also below the state in both subjects in the region, in TSI. So that's an area that we are continuously working on, and so we would hope to see an increase in that area. College prep courses, remember the first year that this district offered college prep courses was in 21-22, and those are given to seniors, and it's for students that are not college or career ready yet, and so they are enrolled in a college prep course in reading and math to get that support, and if they pass with a 90, they will end up getting college credit, so they don't have to take that remedial class when they go in as freshmen. And so you'll see that we are still below the state and region, but we right now have, what is it, one class of math and one class of reading, or we have more than that for college prep?
College prep is, we have one class, we have another 2 classes in
That's right.
math, and then
Teaching
for
options.
reading it's in all English, so
Yeah.
it's not a class, it's embedded.
We embedded English 4. I will tell you that TEA is starting to get heavily involved in the college prep courses, in the curriculum that outside entities are providing. So I'll give you an example. For math, we use Texas College Bridge. Mr. Cottrell works with Texas College Bridge and has had amazing results. Just checked it yesterday. Then we use Region 20 this year and their college program in reading, and we embedded it in English 4. Going into next year, the college prep has been free for school districts. Next year, it will have a cost for school districts to do, and we are going to do Texas College Bridge for both English and math. And the cost is it's not a lot of money. And so honestly, probably about $1,000 a year. And so, but TEA will tell you that they are gonna start auditing those curriculums. And what's good is Texas College Bridge, I just met with them yesterday. Matter of fact, Texas College Bridge is known as the model. So they've been working with TEA, so that's good because that's who we're gonna use. And then also in the past, up until this year, you could put juniors in it. We don't do that. But starting next 2024, TA will only allow seniors to take the college prep courses. But again, it's those seniors that have not done have not passed their TSI. They're not college ready yet. So this is one last opportunity to support them and get them ready to take college classes.
Okay.
So we've been working on college prep a lot and reading that. Our advanced placement results, and we offer quite a number of AP courses for a 3A school. Very proud to say that, a lot of them. And you'll see that in all subjects, we are above the state and region. In English Language Arts, we're above the state and region. In math and science and social studies, we are below the state and region. So going into next school year on our professional development days, Dr. Cerna and I are going to work with College Board and try to bring them in to support our teachers in aligning their curriculum to their AP exam even more than they're already doing and supporting them. Because remember, to get the college credit for AP, you must make a 3 or a 4. And I don't know how many of you have seen that exam. To make a 3 or 4 is not easy.
So, but they still get the, 10 points, 15 points.
You mean
for
GPA?
GPA.
Oh yeah, they
So
get more
regardless
GPA.
of how they do, right,
Yeah.
for
But for
GPA
this reporting, CCMR, they have to
Has
have a
to.
3 or 4. Yeah. So that's where we are with AP. SAT and ACT, you'll see the data on results for the annual graduates. And you'll see where we fall in those areas. Predominantly, we're above the state and region, if not in all areas in this. This data in front of you is advanced dual credit, and so you'll see our percentages of students that complete dual credit. And you'll see that we're, some areas we're below, some areas we are above. And then graduates enrolled in Texas Institution of Higher Education, and again, it's only Texas schools. And we have a number of students that do not stay in Texas. And so we are at 53.5% of our graduates that enroll. We are above the state and region in that. Okay. All right, so that is pretty much all the data. next one is we're gonna, and I didn't do any slides on this because you can see it in the report, but you talk about student information, their ethnicity, staff information by their ethnicity, gender, their degrees, and then program information, like how many students we have in special education, at risk, so on and so on. So that is in your packet. And then I always say section 2, PEIMS financial standard reports. I just like to spend the money. Any questions that you have over the financial report, I defer to my partner here to my right, Ms. Novak. And so the data was in there for the actual financial data for the district, and then the campus.
Well, I just think that's investment, right? And I know you got, Colonel Matthew Douglas, he's in charge of all of the medical programs for the entire Army Medical Department, right? So when you're looking at that data of the investment that we've made to Baylor and all these other institutions, right, it speaks volumes. That's the ROE on that. So no, it's,
Again, generally each year we assign, TA assigns accreditation statuses. We've always been accredited. So the schools you were talking about, sir, Mr. White, we're not accredited. And then also, we're still known as accredited. I mean, we're still down as that, and so we are good in that area. Also in your packet, you ended up having the district improvement plans, and what we gave you was an easy to read understanding of where campuses sit in their performance objectives and their progress measures, so that you'll see if it's met in progress and so on, and their goals. That was in there. The report on violent or criminal incidences. The district had 0 violent or criminal instances reported, so that is always nice to hear.
Comment on that.
Yes, sir.
DAEP. When I was at this conference here, it opened my eyes again about the incidents, criminal, violent, that's going on in school campuses. And in some of the districts across the state, and this is what they stated clearly, is that their DAP program is so big because of the incidents that they're having that one of the districts has closed the school and is using it for DAP. Now, that's a problem. And they were talking about not only the criminal portion of it, they were talking about vaping and all of those things, right?
It's overloaded.
That is a problem.
Overloaded.
And we actually had a good discussion on that because I kind of added a Woollyism in what I thought, about it. It should never be that. We should never be in a category of that such, to where we're looking for a place to place kids for violence, misbehavior, criminal activities, vaping, illicit drugs. So that was huge. Thank you, though.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So we are legally supposed to report on that, so we have done that. The next slide I'm going to show you is student performance in post-secondary institutions. This data is compiled by the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board, and you'll see the report in a minute. I'm going to show it to you. So we blew this up for you so you can see. You'll see for the graduates from 2020, you'll see how many we had, and you'll see the enrollment of the 4-year. And I'm going to remind you, this is only Texas higher ed institutions, okay? But it's how many enrolled in those areas of the 4-year, the 2-year, the independent colleges, not trackable, not found. And you'll see how their GPA was for the first year in that post-secondary college. So you'll see how they're doing. So it's always good data. We are also working with an organization called Clearinghouse, and I'll share that data when we get it. We're uploading it now. But it tracks every kid in the United States that enrolls in a post-secondary. And so we upload our data because Clearinghouse, every college in the United States is part of that. And so we'll be able to see and I showed it to every single place these children went to, which is always good to see because, you'll see how many of them go out of state. What colleges are they going to? You'll see them in state. And I will tell you, we have quite a number of our graduates that stay in the state of Texas for many reasons, right? And so it's just good information to have because, again, the state only reports this, right? And so once we get that data ready for you, I would like, with your permission, to present it to you guys so you can see.
I remember attending some meetings with St. Philip's, and we attended some of those meetings, and they can't capture all of our kids. They just couldn't capture them because,
That's right.
you know, with the PCS and everything, and so our numbers were lower, and then we kind of went into an explanation on why. So that's great.
But we also have our
clearinghouse.
data, and Ms. Rios tracks our data. You know, once kids come here as freshmen, the majority of them, they stay. They don't leave.
Right.
So, which is really good, right? And so we also have been tracking that data. So, all right, that's the information on that.
Clearinghouse.
Questions? Okay. So the next one is House Bill 3. As you guys know, you have 3 board goals, House Bill 3. And if you could pull up that link for me, please. So I'd like to tell you about House Bill 3. So just so you know, House Bill 3, the first round, ends in June of 2024. So TEA has given us guidance on what to do next. And so what we're gonna do is come together after June and work with campuses and their teams, and we're gonna come up with new goals for the next 5 years in these areas. But I wanna give you a progress update of how we are now. The first goal is the percent of 3rd grade students that score meets grade level or above in reading on the STAR. The goal was we will increase from 52 to 60% by June of 2024. And we, right now, the last of the 21, we're at 68%, so we have met that goal. So what we'll do is we'll come up with a new goal for the next 5 years. That's a SMART goal, right? That's realistic, attainable, and so on. The next one is math. And that one is still in progress. The percent of 3rd grade students who score meets grade level or above in math on the STAR will increase from 40 to 60 by June of 2024. These goals were done before COVID, just so you know, by the state. We were required to do these goals before COVID. We are not there yet, and I'm hoping we get there. So we're at 59% right now, so we're right there. So hopefully we will get there. So it's in progress. And then the CCMR goal was another one. The percent of graduates that meet the threshold for CCMR will increase from 70 to 75%. We are currently, as you know, at 67%, and it's in progress. And so remember that data is lagging. And also remember for accountability ratings, when they do come back, CCMR is 40% of your total accountability for COLE, and you have to have an 88% in order to have an A. And so we have been working nonstop on that. And so I will tell you from working with Dr. Cerna's team, we have greatly increased our percentages. But then also we have to make sure that we code it correctly so it gets reported correctly. So that is a major focus for the teaching and learning department and Dr. Cerna's team. And our goal is that every kid leaves a CCMR ready, right?
Absolutely.
But you know, you guys know this, I've told you this, for the state to TA to come in and jump from what was it, 60-something to be an A to 88 with graduates that have already left us and we can't do anything about. School districts in general feel like that was very done unfairly by TEA, but it is what it is. And so we will achieve that 88 and above. We will do that. Okay? So that's House Bill 3 progress update. And then, as you know, there is a glossary there for your viewing pleasure. I have read it.
Thank you.
Back, but it's really actually very educational because it's how I understand all this. But it provides your definitions, your methodologies, and so on and so on. There's also a Spanish version that is available that we will post up there also. So I always use this quote, and I've done it every year, because daring greatly. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbled, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly. Our teachers were hyper-focused on growing kids, and they dare greatly every day, and so do our campus administrators. So really, it's a huge thank you to them. I'm just here to report it, and we will continue to dare greatly because our students, every kid deserves nothing less. If you have any questions about the lovely district annual report, I'm always available.
And you know where that quote was from?
Theodore.
Yep, I know it's from Theodore, but you know why he gave that quote.
No, I do not.
What environment were we in when he actually spoke to that, to the American people. We was at war, right? We was at war. And so, and sometimes we feel like we're at war when they put these criteria above us, right? You know, through happenstance and with this accountability, right? And so, but no, I appreciate all of the data and information.
And anytime you guys know if you have any questions, to let me know.
Oh, thank you.
Dr. Banks, that is my report.
Great job. Thank you. Great job. This is what we're here for. That is all. Agenda item number 14 is public comments regarding the public hearing on the 2022-2023 district annual report only. Public comments regarding the public hearing on 2022-2023 district annual report only. Are there any comments?
Comments or questions?
Questions?
Is this regarding your slideshows?
It is, it's regarding the district annual report.
Some of that was very interesting, and I couldn't see all the numbers. Is there, would you like post that?
Yes, so we are required within 2 weeks, we'll have it done by today. We will put it up on the website, and so for everybody can see it. Because it's always a lot of numbers. And I always have it in my office, so we can do it. Anything else? Thank you.
She provides us with a lot of homework to read. A lot. But that is one of the top 7 goals of the school board is academic achievement. And so we must spend a lot of time on this to understand and see exactly where we're standing with our students, because that's one of our top 7 goals and responsibilities. But thanks for all of the reading.
You're welcome.
Agenda item 15, the proposed Fort Sam Houston ISD calendar for the 2024-2025 school year. Superintendent recommend approving the proposed Fort Sam Houston ISD calendar for the 2024-2025 school year as submitted.
Ms. Thorne, you have the comment.
Good afternoon, or is it evening?
Afternoon.
It's a blend, it's a blend.
I just wanted to go over the process, so you know you have it in front of you what we're submitting. We start in November generally with this, and what we do is I sit with DEIC, which you know is made of parents, teachers, we have community members, we have all kinds of people on there, and we start with a needs assessment wish list, like what do we need to have in the calendar, what would we like to see in the calendar, process all those things, and then I draft a basic calendar, and I try to meet as many needs as I can, but we have a lot of requirements we have to fill. Teachers have to work 187 days on contract. We need 75,600 instructional minutes. We have to have Christmas break, spring break. We have to make sure that federal holidays and other holidays are in there. So then what we do is we build all that in, and then we check with Lackland and Randolph, because you know we share services with them. So we'd like our spring breaks and our Christmas breaks to coincide as much as possible to make sure that the kids are getting serviced on a continual basis. Then we also look at state testing. We put where's STAR testing going to happen, where's TELPAS, because we want to make sure that we're not giving a STAR test like the day after spring break or something like that. So we just want to make sure that those are placed well. We need cushions for inclement weather and unforeseen events, like if our water pipes broke and we had to close, something like that. So we'd like to have days built into the calendar so that we don't get dinged for having not having school, kids not having the minutes, that kind of thing. And then we embed professional learning days, as we're of the belief that our teachers do not have to be up here on Saturdays and evenings doing the professional learning. These be part of what we do. Okay. So then the draft goes to the campuses. They go through department heads, grade level chairs, principals look at it. People get eyes on it. Goes through central office. They look at it as well. We put a survey out for the staff and for the community this year. Then we posted those results on the website after we closed it to see kind of what people were feeling on a couple of the areas that we had wiggle room We don't always have wiggle room. And then, we brought it back to DEIC, made some final revisions, and then we did another final revision, make sure we didn't make mistakes, make sure things were accurate, and then we finalize it and it comes to you, and it is in your packet. That's my presentation. Questions?
I haven't seen any issues with it. 75,600, right, minutes?
That is it.
Mhm.
Yes, minimum.
The calendar, Region 20 superintendents have been discussing this. This has been a talking point. As you very well know, North Side, Northeast are our largest districts here in Bexar County. So in my meetings, that is something we are really wanting to align our calendars to be streamlined. But folks, please understand, you have over 20 school districts here in Bexar County alone. We're not gonna please everyone, but we are looking at this, and these are something that we are talking and discussing. So once this calendar is approved, first thing I will do is send it to Region 20, because that is something as we move forward for the next school years, we're going to try to do better in terms of alignment, because we know a lot of our faculty and staff, they have kids in North Side, Northeast, everywhere. So we are cognizant of that and looking to try to align and streamline that. So a lot of moving parts.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you, Ms. Fuller. All right, agenda item 15, do we have a motion for this agenda item?
Mr. President, I recommend that we approve the proposed Port St. Lucie Independent School District calendar for 2024-2025 school year as submitted.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor?
I, Colonel Aaron Braxton, second.
I, Andrea Nicholas.
Aye, Willie White. Majority vote, the motion passes. Agenda item 15, closed meeting as authorized by the Texas government. Agenda item 16, closed meeting as authorized by the Texas Government Code Section 551.074, personnel matters. The time is now 1:37. We move into closed session.